with the trade deadline, right? The Patriots being sellers at the deadline. Gresh, your initial thoughts on what happened this week?
Yeah, I mean, to find a match, like I know that there were some out there who said, well, we didn't know Sauce Gardner was available, but it had been 3 weeks of discussions ongoing behind the scenes before a guy like that got traded. People were looking for impact, but, you know, I thought the Colts owner, Carly Ursay-Gordon, asked her general manager a really important question. Are you patching it or are you fixing it for the future? Mm-hmm. I think there could have been some patches this year that might have made people short-term happy. But I think long-term, you weren't acquiring anybody who was going to be here for multiple years, so why give up the picks?
Right, and then Morgan, you don't want to bring in someone that messes with the team locker room chemistry that they've had, right?
No, absolutely not. And I mean, as Stephon Diggs has been saying and said again this week, we all we need. Maybe they took it a little too seriously, but they're taking it as kind of a vote of confidence in the locker room that they have what they need to win this season.
Look at it this way. Do you want to give up 2 picks for Jacoby Myers just to say we went out and got another wide receiver with a group of wide receivers that no one's complaining about anymore?
Nope. Yeah.
Or a 3rd-round pick for Jalen Phillips, who's just a pure rental, no guarantee you're going to keep the guy. That is pretty steep. Now, even though the Patriots have a good record, you know, it's not like Kansas City or Baltimore or anybody else piled on. Indianapolis made the big move because they ain't been good for a long time. The Jets are liquidating assets. Denver really couldn't go out and get anybody of consequence. So at the end of the day, who really moved that realistically you would have given up the kind of, I mean, I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks for a corner.
No.
You ain't going to get anyway because the Jets ain't going to trade him to you. So on some level, if you're all wound up about not getting anything at the trade deadline, sit down and calm down, please.
Yes, because, hey, they're 7-2 for a reason. Things are working.
Yeah,
right?
It's not terrible around here, for crying out loud. Yeah. At the end of the day, again, who were you bringing in that was going to make a seismic impact? Now, listen, if there were O-line help, if there were a real center who wasn't a lightweight, then maybe I'd be okay with that. And flip a 3rd-round pick for that. Somebody's going to be here for a while. You don't need a flash, pass rusher from Miami to come in and leave at the end of the year.
For sure. All right, switching over to Drake May now on the offense. Do you think he's being hit too much, Morgan?
I mean, 34 times so far this season, only 2nd behind Cam Ward. But he said this week it's a little bit of his fault. He's holding on to it for too long.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he doesn't really know how to slide yet, Gresh, right?
Well, I think there's a little bit of that. But, Sam, let's also look at the numbers, right? May has thrown for at least 243 yards in 6 of the 9 games this year. And if you look at that Buccaneers pass defense, the last 4 weeks they've given up 341, 296, 215 to Detroit in a game where they gave up over 160 yards rushing. And then against New Orleans, 2 quarterbacks threw for 274 yards. Quite honestly, I think this is the week that Drake May might get the 300-yard game, which we haven't seen yet. This, to me, is trending up. And based on people I've kind of reached out and talked to down in Tampa, there's some other defenders that are kind of licking their wounds with some injuries. So I think this could actually be the week where Drake May might pop off and have that 300-yard game.
That would be huge. Who are you keeping an eye on, Morgan, if you are the Patriots on the Buccaneers?
Mbuka.
Yeah. He's a stud.
I think you have to, especially like as you mentioned earlier, Marcus Jones.
Yeah.
They got him over top twice last week, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, I know that the running back Bucky Irvin looks like he's not going to go. They got Rashad White. That's a guy that I'm keeping an eye on those running backs. Like, is there going to be someone who's brought up that's just a little elusive 3rd down guy that the next thing you know they hit you with a screen and it's only his only play of the game and he makes it for 15 yards and gets you a 1st down? I'm looking at how Tampa is handling the running backs because they are thin coming into today.
No doubt about it. All right, thanks, guys. Good stuff coming up after